Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to episode 139 of the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Nate Maxon here with you, and on this week's show, going to just play you some content from my new baby, WrestleNet Radio. A couple episodes of a couple of shows from the WrestleNet Radio, and hold on just a second, Archie.
What?
Oh, when I get into this new house, there won't be all these things around me that make noise. I'll have my own little space that I can...
That cat's going to still be there but meowing.
I guess I'll start over. All right. Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to episode 139 of the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Nate Maxon here with you. This week, I will be presenting you with some episodes of some shows from my new baby, WrestleNet Radio. If you haven't checked it out yet, please do. It is available in the Google Play Store on your Android device. Or if you go to the We Can't Wrestle page, the WrestleNet Radio page, etc., you can get a link for Apple where you can open it in your Safari browser. I am joined this week, though, to introduce the show by one of my esteemed co-hosts and also a WrestleNet Radio host, Mr. Archie Mitchell. Hello, sir.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Nate?
I told Archie before I started playing the radio shows on this week's show, I had a rant that I wanted to do, and I wanted somebody to have to suffer through it, so I invited Mr. Mitchell to come here.
Always up for a good rant.
Yeah, yes, so. Actually you are. Yes. If you smell what the Arch is cooking, you know that's the truth.
That whole
before I get into
one big rant.
before I get into my rant, just want everybody to be reminded that WrestleNet Radio, Reliving the Extreme of We Can't Wrestle, will be a part of our first wrestling convention. We will have a table in Fort Wayne, Indiana, October 2nd, 2021, for the Heroes and Legends Wrestling Convention. I have been to multiples of these. They are very well produced, very well promoted. It's always a solid, good show. And Archie, would you like to hear some of the guests coming to join? Yes. Of course, all these guests are coming because the We Can't Wrestle podcast is going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. I sound like Aaron now. All right, but anyway, at the Heroes and Legends, Fort Wayne, Indiana, the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum, October 2nd, 2021, Rikishi will be there, who has been in the asylum, of course, as has this man, the hardcore icon Sabu.
Nice.
The Headbangers, Gangrel, Head Shrinker Samu, Kevin Thorne, who we've talked about a little bit on the show recently. The Pope, Elijah Burke, will be there. Actually, one of my favorites. Like, that's a guy that I always thought should have done better in WWE than he did.
He's doing great in the NWA, though. I know that much.
Yes, absolutely. Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Okay.
Greg Valentine's at like every convention. That's not even a big deal. Let's be honest. And Greg Valentine travels more now than he did when he was on the road.
Greg Valentine is like the uncle who shows up at every event the family's having, whether he was invited or not. And everybody's like, oh, Uncle Fred's here again.
Uncle Greg's here.
Yeah.
JTG will be there.
Okay.
Glacier, who Aaron and I met last time that one of the shows happened. Really cool dude, Ray Lloyd. Yes. One of my low-key favorites of all time. I know it's silly. I've said it on the show before. I don't care. I was a fan of Duke Drosy. Duke the Dumpster Drosey's going to be there.
I had no problem with him. I mean, he was a decent talent, a good worker. I mean, if they would have let him actually run with the gimmick a little more than he had.
I actually was looking forward to, and I think we might get into it on the 25 years ago show in the near future. At one point, they were considering turning him heel and having him go with DiBiase, and I always thought that would have been cool.
It would have been.
It never panned out. Kevin Sullivan's going to be there. Missy Hyatt's going to be there.
Okay.
Juventud Guerrera. Super crazy.
Ooh.
Al Snow, who I've met many times. Actually, as a matter of fact, I live near Lima, Ohio, folks, where Al Snow is originally from. At one time in my life, I ran a GameStop store in Lima, Ohio, and that was where Al Snow shopped for his video games. So
nice.
I've been Al Snow's video game clerk before in the past.
He'd walk in and be like, "Do you have SmackDown versus Raw with me in it?"
He would come in. Al would come in at like when you just opened at 10 in the morning when the mall was dead, so he didn't have to talk to people, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, the Queen of Extreme, Francine, will be there.
Nice.
So that's the list so far.
So what you're saying is, you put all these people together in one room, you have one hell of a tag team battle royal. Because you got the head shrinkers, the headbangers, Gangrel and Kevin Thorne could be a vampire tag team. Throw Greg Valentine with Kevin Sullivan.
Now, what I will tell you is big rumor right now going around. Mm-hmm. There's a guy that might be appearing at this show that I hear may have recently got in online and started trying to purchase some plane tickets. And you may actually see a convention appearance, ladies and gentlemen, of our own ECW's own Chad Austin.
Awesome.
Might be coming in for the convention to be at the We Can't Wrestle table. So
that is awesome.
I will keep everybody updated on that. But Chad is looking, he really wants to come and hang out in Fort Wayne. And yeah.
Of course.
And for those of you that may think, oh, Chad Austin, he's just that guy that did jobs. And Chad Austin is funny. He's funny. Yes. He's cool as shit. And he is like us, guys. He is a wrestling fan. Like, he's a wrestling nerd like we are. So I would love to have Chad come in, and it sounds like that might be a big possibility. So pretty excited for this thing coming up in October.
I'm sure you are. I wish I could make it. I really wish I could make it.
Well, sometimes, you know, it is what it is. You're in Jersey, man.
Right. If it was in Ohio, I might be more, like, easier to come.
Mm-hmm.
Something about it being it's in Indiana, right?
You got to go all the way across to Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
See, we're like, it's easy for us. We're like 30 minutes from the convention. So maybe next time we'll figure it out, or maybe next time we'll meet in the middle somewhere.
Yes.
All right. So here's what I wanted to rant about, and it has nothing to do really with professional wrestlers.
Okay.
It has to do with professional wrestling fans. We'll start with one in particular, and then we will move on to the collective masses of the great unwashed.
The IWC, as they are known.
Yes. Okay, so the first fan, I guess I'd call him, I'd call him a traitor, that I want to talk about is this fucking idiot that rushed the ring on AEW.
Oh, God.
And he tried, and so then he goes by, and I had to dig in. I got on his Twitter, taking a look at this fucking moron. He's like, now Hannibal is above, or is below. Yeah, this guy's above Hannibal at this point for. But anyway, he goes by, let me see, motherfucking Mark on YouTube or on Twitter. I'm sorry, fat bastard. You're right. But here's my thing about this guy. Okay, first of all, never, ever, ever in the history of ever has it ever been cool for a fan to get in the ring.
No.
When two pro wrestlers are doing what pro wrestlers do.
No, it's not. How about this one? It's not cool for the fans to touch a wrestler as he's coming down the aisle unless he's interacting with them.
Yes.
I mean, how many times have we seen wrestlers go off on fans or swing around and hit a fan because they were in the middle of a brawl and a fan just decided to go, "Hey, buddy," and
right.
Leave them. That's not what they're there for.
What I'll say to this guy is, do you want people coming behind the counter at the thrift store you work at, you loser?
Right.
So, and here's the other thing. Like I said, first of all, and guys, gals, we're wrestling fans. We all have our favorites. We all have our not favorites. We all have people we dislike in the ring, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to dig a little deeper into this idiot, but in no way, shape, or form would I ever, and I know Archie wouldn't, and I know any sane fan wouldn't.
Nope.
First of all, threaten the safety of a wrestler.
Right.
We can be fans. We can hate, quote unquote hate. Let's be honest. All right. I don't hate Kenny Omega as a person.
Right.
I don't know Kenny Omega. So if you listen to what Archie, like if Archie or I talk about a wrestler on this show, Right. We don't attack them personally as a person.
No.
I'm not a fan of Kenny Omega as a talent. I despise watching him perform, but that would never make me, want to. And that's why I was going to get into this guy on his Twitter. He's even like personally attacking Kenny, saying nasty shit about Kenny personally.
It seemed like he was trying to get over with Jim Cornette.
And I'm going to get into that too. Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I don't like John Cena the wrestler. I've said this a dozen times. But John Cena the person, I actually like him. I like when he's an actor. Yeah. I like when he's on, Total Divas or Total Bellas. He's very normal. But as a wrestler, he rubs me the wrong way because he's a goody two-shoes.
And let's be honest, as a person, who's done more Make-A-Wishes in the history of ever,
exactly.
And he's a great guy. And if I was in the same building and I'm going to use Omega again just because everybody hears me rant about Kenny Omega all the time. If I was in the same building with Kenny Omega, I'm not a fan.
But you'd still meet him.
I don't even know if I would meet him, but I wouldn't walk up to him and say, "You're a piece of shit. You suck." Blah, blah.
Right.
I mean, what the fuck am I? I've never been in the ring.
You're not going to walk up to him and call him fingers. What is
Twinkle Toes McFingerbang.
Yeah, I mean.
No, I mean, and that's my point. Is it's not. This guy took it too far.
Definitely.
He's most definitely like, and not in the good way. When I use this word, Trolly McTrollerton, he's definitely a troll. He's like a troll. He's the worst kind of troll.
Right.
And then really, my other thing was the Jim Cornette thing. All right. First of all, this idiot tried to suck ass up to Jim Cornette.
Yep.
Saying, "Hey, Jim Cornette, like what I did for real wrestling fans. Jim Cornette." This is the first time I've ever seen Cornette, Jericho, and Omega all on the same side of something.
Right.
But Jim Cornette was pretty much like, they should have killed you, And Jericho said, I don't know why you're sucking up to Cornette because he jammed the tennis racket up your ass.
Right.
And et cetera, because at the end of the day, the guys in the business can have their differences with each other, but it's still a brotherhood.
For their safety, right?
Yes,
exactly.
And it's still, and Cornette even said in his tweet, "The ring is sacred to us, including Omega."
This is what I didn't get. He made a comment and said in his tweet to Jim, did they think they were going to be safe for much longer now that the fans are back in the arena?
That sounds like a threat.
You've been sitting there for 18 months during all this pandemic thinking, when I get back into the arena and spend my hard-earned money, I'm going to attack a wrestler and get thrown out. What?
And to me, something like that guy should be investigated. Because to me, that sounds like a threat. Did they think they were safe?
He should be banned from all wrestling promotions from here on out.
And he should be shat upon by all of us in the internet wrestling community.
I agree.
The last thing I want to lump into this rant about this fucking Jack Tard, and this is the last time we'll talk about him on the show unless he pisses me off again, is there were other fans that I took exception to. And those fans are the fans that tried to make it sound like it was Jim Cornette's fault that this guy did what he did. That's horseshit. Cornette can say what he wants. He can do what he wants. But it's not his. That's like me saying it's the Hardy Boys' fault that two kids got hurt in their backyard from watching the Hardy Boys.
Wait a second.
Essentially, they were essentially making it like Cornette was like Trump with the Washington riot. Like Cornette incited this man to do this.
So if you and I go to a movie and as we're coming out, we say something to the effect of, "Man, Sandra Bullock is such a bad actress. Somebody should put her in a bag and throw her off a bridge." And somebody goes and does that. That's our fault.
Yeah, that's our fault. Exactly. Yes, it's stupid. It was and there were some internet wrestling goofs that were taking that narrative. Obviously, probably, let's be honest, probably AEW guys that don't like Cornette's opinion.
Right.
But in no way, shape, or form, and if you listen to Jim Cornette, if there's one thing that Jim Cornette would, like I said, would agree with a Jericho or a Kenny Omega on, is that ring is a sacred place.
Right.
And I'm almost
And
positive
he
that Jim
doesn't want
Cornette.
any of them hurt. He doesn't,
No.
just short of Vince Russo, which I think even nowadays he's over his whole thing with wanting to see Russo get beaten up.
He's gotten pretty
You know?
nasty about that in the past.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he isn't looking to see Kenny Omega get beaten up by a fan, which I doubt a 300-pound, 5'2",
right.
fat fuck of a fan is going to beat up Kenny Omega or any wrestler for that
Or
matter.
MJF or Jericho.
Yeah, I mean, calling Kenny Omega for whatever you want. He's a ballerina. He does whatever. I think Kenny Omega probably would have hit him with a knee for real.
Yeah.
And knocked his ass out, or
pretty instantly. Yeah. And the thing is, Cornette actually was going to stop. He was going to stop reviewing AEW like 6 months ago.
Right.
And the fans asked him to keep doing it. So he's just a businessman. If that gets his show listens and he's not, and just the fact that, to me, it was just the fact that there were these goofs out there on the internet that took this as a way to say Cornette somehow incited this guy to do this.
For every...
This guy is his own psycho,
For every 20 people who love Jim Cornette, there's always going to be that one idiot who says, oh, well, what he does is counterproductive. He's been fired from this many companies. No, he wasn't fired from this many companies. Jim Cornette left those companies on his own.
Yeah, he's actually never been fired. I think the
only one he got fired from was recently with the NWA.
Oh yeah, the NWA.
And he actually understood them firing him, even though he's used that turn of phrase he used 4 times in the last 30 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It just so happened in the 2019s. That phrase is looked upon as being bad.
Well, and I agree with Jim. Why didn't they edit it out?
Right.
It's not like it was live. But anyway,
because we're in cancel culture where everybody wants to say something is wrong.
Well,
one day I'm going to identify as a pissed off white guy and just pick on people and see how they feel. When they tell me I'm wrong, I'm going to tell them, no, you're wrong.
I identify as.
I
told my wife I'm just going to start identifying as a couch, and that means I can just sit at home all day in front of the TV.
But wait, if you identify as a couch and somebody comes along and wants to sit on you, that's a bad thing.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to identify as a couch that you can't sit on. It's like I'm a decorative piece. I'm a decorative piece.
There you go. There you go.
Well, unless you have anything else, Archie, that is my rant, and we will get into the...
I'll be honest with you. You mentioned the wrestling fan in general, and yes, this guy is bad, and he needs to be, as I said, banned from every wrestling promotion there is for buying a ticket. There are other fans that have lately been getting on my nerves because there's one fan in particular, and I'm going to use the word Daniel Bryan used about a year ago, fickle. The fickle fan.
Yes.
The WWE needs to learn how to push new stars. Okay. Here's Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. Here's
Jackson. What's his name? Jackson Riker.
Jackson Riker. Angel Garza. Here's all these new talent, and we're only how many months removed from WrestleMania? 5. And right away, they're pushing Bianca Belair down our throat. What? Angel Garza can't get over. Well, that's your fault. You're not cheering for him. You're not buying his merch. It's like we get, look, I have never been a fan that demanded the WWE do something that I want. Do I not like their current product? Sure. But that doesn't mean they have to do what I like. It's what 40,000 fans who are going to be in the arena come Money in the Bank that need to be the ones heard. That's fine.
If you don't like the product, don't watch it.
Right.
But like, why would I want to watch something that? Okay, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna say, all right. Say I post on Twitter, hey, Roman Reigns should lose the Universal Championship this week. Then Roman Reigns loses the Universal Championship this week.
Right.
So, what fun is it for me to write the show? I'm supposed to be going and watching it to enjoy and be entertained.
But these fans are Roman Reigns needs a better push as a heel. Okay, here's Roman Reigns as a heel. He's a badass, and we're already at the point. Brock Lesnar should come back and beat Roman Reigns. Why?
No, yes, Roman Roman is doing the best work of his career right now.
Right. We need to get John Cena should come back. Why? So you could say that he's got a golden shovel and is going to beat Ric Flair's record. I mean,
You're right.
You can't make everybody happy, but it seems to me that 80% of wrestling fans over the last 5 years have become designated to all feeling like their opinion matters.
Yeah.
When they don't seem to remember, and a lot of these people are fans our age, Nate.
Oh yeah.
They don't seem to remember when we had 4 pay-per-views a year,
Mhm.
when Hulk Hogan would go 6 months without defending the world title, when guys like the Ultimate Warrior were being shoved down our throat, which back then we didn't think that way.
Mhm.
When we didn't know what the word green meant. Did you know what the word green meant in 1991?
Fuck no.
We thought it was a color, but we didn't know when a wrestler wasn't good.
Not long ago on the Slice of Time show on WrestleNet Radio, Majewski and I had this conversation about how it was so much better to be a fan.
Right.
Now we're all quote unquote smart as we think we are. We're not as smart as we think we are. We're not wrestlers.
Right.
But I think that's one of the things, like the sheets and the internet, and I know we're a part of that. We're a part of that culture because we do a podcast, but that is one of the things, like that magic is gone. We're so much more critical now. Fans are so much more critical. Like, we know what the fuck we're talking about, and we know better than the wrestling promoters, and et cetera, et cetera. And I say this again, if you don't like it, don't watch it. I don't like Kenny Omega, so I don't watch Kenny Omega. But I'll watch parts of the AEW show and wrestlers on the AEW show that I like. I don't watch stuff I don't like anymore, because why? I don't understand these guys that hate Raw, but then they watch Raw every week just so they can bitch about it.
They're going to cancel their Peacock and never watch again. Now, watch this though, Nate. When you were 17, the internet was we had the internet because you and I are only a couple of years apart, and we would have dirt sheets. And yes, there were times when we missed a wrestling show because we were either busy with school or a function that we were at.
Right.
We'd turn to those dirt sheets. We'd read a spoiler. What happened on Monday Night Raw tonight? But then we'd read it and go, shit, I got to watch that. Not go, damn, I could miss this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In dirt sheets now, because of everybody writing their opinion piece too on it, is not just, oh, well, Roman Reigns came out and beat up Edge and then, went on, making it seem like it's something fantastic. They're writing it as, oh, Roman Reigns and Edge did the same thing they did last week and what they're going to do again next week. So you could miss this episode. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
You're a writer. Can you imagine if a guy who was writing a book wrote his book like that? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Now, you know what? You've heard it all. Done.
Yeah. Charles Dickens your way out of here. Yeah.
I hope that with the fans coming back into the arena, with, AEW has it now. It was great seeing them on Wednesday night with that jam-packed of a house. And I hope with Raw and SmackDown going back to full arena and Money in the Bank and all the other companies coming back, I hope that maybe lightens the fans again, softens them, and they can enjoy the product because, well, I've got a ticket to go see it now. You know what I mean?
Right.
I bought tickets to Raw in 3 months from now. You know what I mean? I want to go see this, so I'm not going to bitch and moan as much as I should. That's just my feelings.
Yes, and I agree totally. Well, there we go. We have bitched and moaned and complained.
Yes.
To introduce the show. So right now, folks, we will go into a couple of selections of shows from WrestleNet Radio for this week's edition of the We Can't Wrestle podcast. Next week, the Hall of Shame is upon us. Yes. So I know I've got my 4 inductees. The other guys are working on theirs. Aaron is chomping at the bit.
I'm just inducting all 4 members of the Mysterio family: Ray, Dominic, Elia, and whatever, Angie, his wife. So,
I might induct this fat bastard guy.
Yeah.
But that being said,
giving him credibility, and then he's going to be like, "I'm in the Hall of Shame."
Yeah. That's but I guarantee it's the biggest fucking honor he'll ever have in his life. All right, everybody, here you go. Thank you for joining us. Check out these selections from WrestleNet Radio. We'll see you next week with the Hall of Shame.